Welcome to the Real Estate Fight Club, a podcast for agents where you'll witness a battle of opinions about topics affecting your real estate business. Now, always in your corner, here are your hosts, Jenn Mertland and Monica Weekly.
Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Fight Club. What's up, Jay Mert?
I am excited. We are talking about one of my favorite topics today. Yeah, baby.
Good Lord. Nobody likes objections, Jen.
I thought you were going to say nobody likes you. Like me. Like nobody likes.
Well,
you're in sales. You grow to love them, right? You grow to love
like
them, overcome them.
They are the necessary step to the sale, right? The objection. That's
Absolutely.
Right. All right, guys. I'm super happy to have you back. Thanks for always tuning in to the Real Estate Fight Club podcast, and also thanks for always checking us out on our various social media platforms. All the places. Well, most all the places, not all.
Yes.
The places. Yes. All right, guys. Today we're super psyched. We have a very special guest that's going to help us tackle this subject. What are the two most common objections when dealing with buyers specifically? This is what we're going to be talking about specifically. I bet we'll get into a couple other things, but what are the two most common objections, and how do we once and for all get total confidence around handling these objections? This is the secret. Jen, introduce our very, very special guest today.
Yes, I am excited. We have Susanna Medrano, right? Susanna? Is that
Medrano.
Okay,
you got the first part. You got the first part good. It's good, Jennifer. Good.
And we're having her on because she is the sales and leadership coach for Waters International Realty. So you're not just dealing with, people in your office. You're dealing with people from all different brokerages, increasing their sales skills. And objections is like one of the biggest things that people kind of freak out about. Like, I can't talk to anybody because what if they say something back to me, right?
Sure.
Which
it's
they
like
will.
It's the rite of passage. If you don't overcome it, you will not cut. You're not meant to do real estate. You're not meant to be a realtor if you cannot overcome objections.
Nah, but the good news is, Susanna, is that really objections are basically the same. There's like 10 or 12 and that's it. And they're all a form of those basic ones. So you can memorize it, right? And you can figure out what works for you as far as overcoming them and leading people down the path. So that's the good news. There's no new objections, but I'm curious. I know you're going to tell us the two most common ones, but Monica, what do you think is a common one? Now, these are buyers. And you know what I say? Look, here, don't work with buyers. Just work with sellers. And then you problem solved. Done. Boom.
Listen, we understand where you stand on buyers, Jen. We're clear.
Well, the market is shifting. I mean, all leads are equal opportunists here, right? Like sometimes you can't necessarily, you can model, your specific platform into only having seller leads. But sometimes, like I would imagine the buyer leads right now are coming back through. Just as
then Susanna, you only work with buyers that you made homeless because you sold their house. There's.
But I've done such a damn amazing job. They refer their friends and family. That starts bumbling up on other listing and other buyer opportunities.
Now, I don't know what kind of freaking fantasy land you live in, but there are agents who want to do business, and if a buyer comes along, they're going to do business with the buyer.
So what's the objection?
Okay. I'm thinking that the objection might be, I'm guessing maybe one would have to do with financing piece of this. I don't know. That's one guess. What do you think, Jen?
Drum roll. I think it's that they'll wait until the interest rates go down.
Oh, that's a really good one right now.
That is actually number two. Number two. The rates are too high. Yes, that's number two. What is number one?
I can't find what I want.
I can't find what I want. Like, I'll wait for the next thing. I don't know.
It's a hodgepodge of all of those, right? It's the just looking and just waiting. And that's like any kind of reflex brush off that's what someone's going to tell you on the phone on that first point of contact. Why? Because you're interrupting their day. And it's the first thing that is like one of those things that someone's going to tell you that is just to nicely, politely get you off the phone. And so many agents on their front end of their career, that is a really huge, big challenge to not overcome that.
Yeah.
So how do you push through that? What are some of the things that you can ask or say, or what do you do?
So wait, hold on before she does that. So just looking.
Just looking is number one. Universal, that is the number one objection right now. That is like always in the top 5.
Or some form of just looking.
Or I'm just waiting and just wanting to wait. It's that same kind of scenario. And then the number 2 objection, this was not even in anybody's radar even 6 months ago.
True.
It's the rates are too high, or I'm just waiting.
Not for the last 10, 12 years. That's not been in anybody's repertoire. Right.
All right, Susanna, lead us through this. Help us, please.
Okay.
Once and for all.
Well, I want to start off with just some food for thought, because it doesn't matter what the objection is. I think it's all about when anytime you're getting ready to prospect, whether it's incoming, outcoming, seller leads, buyer leads, right? It doesn't matter. I think the most important thing, you got to get your mind right and understanding that objections don't care who the hell you are. Objections don't care what you sell or haven't sold, right? Objections don't care who you work for. Like, it doesn't matter what brokerage you're from. Objections don't care where you live. They don't care about the sales cycle. They don't get into the weeds about if it's going to be a complex transaction. No, it's not.
Doesn't matter.
They don't care how your day is going. You could be having a really good day, and then it just doesn't care about
it. Could be your birthday.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Could be your birthday.
Absolutely. And the final one, I think, also is objections don't care whether you're brand new into the real estate profession or whether you are a veteran. They don't judge you by that. So I think you got to get your mind right about understanding that it's just part of the sales cycle. And
it's not personal, right? Like, so many people
not
are
personal.
Like, oh, they're whatever. No, it doesn't matter.
And you can't really sell something significant like a house without having objections. So you got to be able to embrace it, because what an objection truly is, it's going to indicate that level of interest and or desire and or motivation of that person. Like, if you think about it from that vantage point, I think more agents start to get kind of like the cobwebs out. Like, okay, I can do this, right? So with objection number 1, the just looking or I'm just waiting. First off, I do think that this is something that is a very nice brush off. It's something that a consumer, doesn't matter whether it's solar panels that I'm trying to sell someone, Medicare, Medicaid on the phone, you get all those Spanish calls. What do we say? Well, we're just looking, or I'm just waiting, just to get them off the phone. Right. So I think in the just looking, there is an opportunity for you to go ahead and knock them off the horse. Great. Okay, Jen, what are you looking for? A 1-story or 2? A single family condo, vacant land, residential. So you automatically on the front end, oh, you're just looking great. That's exactly why I called you right now. So what exactly are you looking for? So I have already cornered that person to have a little bit more direct conversation with me now, right?
Yeah.
And in that, you're able to pivot shortly after identifying and saying, hey, I'm not getting off the phone with you. I just called you out.
Right.
So then the next phrase, the next types of questions you want to ask are, do you own or rent? Because that's a whole nother area that you could start just trying to figure out their timeline and their motivation. If it's rent, great. Well, Jen, would you mind telling me how much you pay for rent?
Yeah. Or when is your lease up?
Or when is your lease up? When you start telling me your rent is $1,800 or $2,200, I automatically have a calculator. That's $13,000, $15,000 a year. So let's, you start to kind of get their mind thinking of like, wow, like, yeah, maybe just looking, but let's go ahead and pivot and start seeing, if home ownership is something for you. So with the just looking, you have to attack it of like, great, that's the first step. Take control of the call. And the main motif of that objection is to keep the person engaged. Like, you have to engage them until you get enough non-negotiables about whether this lead is a good fit for you to work with or not, right? If not, then you put them on your pipeline and then you continue nurturing.
I like this because you're basically asking them like a lot of questions, but then I know that a lot of agents get stuck at, how do I know, is this a lead? And I know that what is a lead depends on years in the business, level of production, a lot of stipulations, but what are the signals where, okay, I should keep this lead, or like, how do you figure that out?
I think whether it's a brand new agent or a veteran agent, one key question to start asking consumers is, have they had the chance to see the inside of any houses? And you say it exactly just like that. If they have, then okay, tell me more. Was this 6 months ago? Was this recent? Was this at an open house? Because then you start to gauge whether or not that individual is already represented by someone else, right?
Right.
And then you
without asking.
Yeah, it's a very like interesting way of just like coming up to, other than going through LP Mama, right? Like you start, okay, well, are you already registered, already represented with an age? No, you got to start changing. You got to be different from everybody else, right?
That's awesome. You know what else I like, and I don't want to smooth over it or get too far away from it. I think a lot of people, when they hear we're just looking, they go after trying to understand the timing instead of, well, what are you looking for? And they go to, oh, well, how long or when? And that's a dead end. That's
a dead end. It's
right.
A dead end.
So I think that's a really important distinction right here, is that you don't go to the when, which is the obvious thing they're wanting, to sort of
it's the obvious thing for the agent that's been defaulted in our brains, but that's not. The consumer has gotten so damn savvy right now.
Yeah,
that what they want is they want to see the damn house.
Yeah,
they want to see the house. Right. So even if they're just looking, it's how much of a carrot can I dangle you to be able to give you enough information and insight to then slap you with the stick of like, okay, now I'm going to go ahead and ask you some non-negotiables for me. Do you have an agent? And then let's talk about a little bit about a financing, right? Kind of that overview. Because as an agent who's been in the business almost 10 years, those are two non-negotiables for me with buyer leads. I don't want to step on any toes. And I got to know that you're for real, that you actually can purchase something in 12 months. Why? Because I've been the dumbass to go show property to someone who's had a 450, right? Those are just
Pop-Tart?
Yeah. And I've also gone on a Sunday and showed $1 million property to someone at 9 a.m., spent 2 hours, and then, thank you so much, Susanna. We did not want to wake up our agent for this. Thank you so much, right? By not asking the key question if they're already represented by someone. So I have some more wounds on me, ladies. I have some more wounds.
Yeah.
Don't what do you think about asking, like, what prompted looking, or what prompted your search, or something like that too? Were you looking in town or out of town, or like multifamily, single family?
Boom.
Looking to rent, buy.
Anything that is a direct question that they have to give you. It's a closed-ended question. They have to give you a response, right? It's not, well, like that open-ended. No, they're going to shut you down right within the first 5-10 seconds if you're giving them an open-ended question.
What do you think? It's perfect to ask, like, if, like, exactly what you said. Have you had the chance to say the phrase again?
Have you had the chance to go and see the inside of any houses?
That's perfect.
That's a good question. I like that. Put that one down.
And if so, how long ago?
Yeah,
and if so, with you.
Yes. What about asking them? I always love ranking questions. I'm a big on a scale of 1 to 10. Tell me because it tells me a lot. What about what moves you from just looking to gotta buy? Does that open up a line of discussion?
Can you ask it a different way?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to go into disc profile right now, right? But as agents get more seasoned, a high I is going to answer that question. If you say, "Can I ask
30 minutes?"
Oh, exactly. So you got it. Yeah, but like a D and like the C, you got to be really careful. They're not good at. They're not. No, you got to get face to face. You got to get to face with them.
Love that.
And it has to be at the house. You may have to do. I know Jen's going to hate me saying this. You may have to go do a courtesy showing. Why? Because
my God, why would you say that?
That's right.
You know what? Hey, Jenn, listen. The market right now, these buyers are a little bit more timid in certain brackets.
Oh,
and as a realtor who's not going to leave any kind of like leaf unturned, that's a damn opportunity.
That is.
And if
that's
I
a connection.
Have to meet them once for an hour.
Yes.
And in 12 months from now, they remember Susanna Medrano because she took the time to educate them on the process, which does. I mean, I can tell you.
One house, you said one house. Are they signing a consumer
maybe
guide?
2 max. Yeah.
Or buyer's
then you're doing an appointment. Huh?
Or a buyer's agency agreement. Like,
yeah. I always buyer up right then and there the first time.
Yeah. Come on, Jenn. Give them one, Jenn.
No.
I'm going to start a campaign. Give them one.
And
No,
it's this, Jen. I think, especially in certain levels, right? In building your career, I would say the first 2 years of your career, you can't say no. You just got to do what you got to do to be able to get into that threshold, to be able to say, you know what, I don't want to do buyers anymore. I can totally do listings. But I would imagine, and this is just me saying, like in my first 2 years, absolutely, I got my teeth kicked in and cut in, and I was thankful that I was in an opportunity to where I could go and understand all that. I mean, my first year out, I helped 45 families and closed $12 million. And it's because I did not say no. And these are all converting leads, right? So I was able to understand from that, like that trajectory where BS was, you know, different kinds of things. But it's about having people, getting agents motivated enough to face that. All those different things that can go wrong. And the only way you're going to do is by practicing.
Is by doing it. But like not just practice with another agent. Like you have to do the work.
You have to get out there. Yeah, you got to go figure it out. And then from that, Jen, you'll become the badass listing agent for your brokerage. It's those little marks of you know, like little army.
Yep. Oh, okay. Battle wounds. Yeah.
That's right.
Well, I think this is a good place to take a break. Monica, do you agree?
Let's do it. Yep.
Good. When we come back, we are going to hear the second most common objection and how to handle it. But let's take a listen to our favorite partner.
Hey guys, Monica here. I want to talk to you about one of the favorite partnerships and tools that I have in my real estate business, and you're going to want it in your real estate business too. It's Achosa Home Warranty. The best in the business, guys. They're different. And after all, isn't that what we want? Something that finally works for our homeowners. Achosa does a couple things different, but the one thing I want to highlight right here is that they let you choose your own contractors. Yes, that's what Achosa means after all, the ability or the power to choose. And so when your homeowner has something that needs fixed, they can call their own vendor, their own contractor. They can have them come in and get the quote, and right there on the spot, call the Achosa Home Warranty customer service, and they will approve the work right then and there, and your contractor can get started, and the problem can be solved, and we're out the door. Isn't that awesome? So Achosa Home Warranty, guys, here's what you need to know. We're using a code, Fight Club. Use code Fight Club when you sign your buyer or seller up. And that will give them $25 off their policy, $25 off with Fight Club. If you need to call, here's their number, 888-509-2916, 888-509-2916, Achosa, A-C-H-O-S-A, Home Warranty. Fight Club for $25. Go get it. All right, welcome back to the battle inside of the ring. We are getting some incredible tips. I mean, these are... You know what this is, Susanna, which I appreciate, is it's not scripting. It's mindset around the buyer's mindset. And if you can just understand that, most everyone can figure out how to navigate that. And you've given us, kind of just 3 basic step-by-step kind of directional questions, which anybody can remember through that process and going to be able to use it. So I love those. But now let's get to the second most popular objection or common objection, which right now is are these
the rates are too high, or it's a little bit about the market is just so, oh my God, it's crashing, all that kind of BS. That's
dumb.
It's dumb. Now, 6 months ago, this was not even anything even talking about, but now it's like 1 out of every 3 phone calls, a customer is going to bring this up. And so I think with this specific one, the reason why it exists is because there's so much damn misinformation about it.
Right.
Whether it is a news, whether it's a newspaper, whether it's whatever that, on social media, it's like the world's falling apart, right? But yet people are still buying and selling, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that has to be on the forefront of that objection when someone is telling you that rates are too high. Well, there's an agent in Indiana that's going to thank me for saying this. His phrase is "marry the house, date the rate."
Yep, we've heard it.
And it becomes like an opener that is a laughing kind of thing. But the thing is, it's like you know what? Monica, there's a lot of misinformation about that. Tell me exactly where you've heard that.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to go in and actually isolate exactly where they heard it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably the buzz of a friend, or like it is when you ask them, they start to do this. They kind of sit back a little like, oh shit, okay, someone's actually going there with me. Like someone is actually,
we're not just doing headlines. Yeah. Right.
Someone's actually asking me, where did I get that information? And then I would say, Monica, you're bringing up a really good point. Here's my question for you. Have you spoken to a lender lately just to explain the differences between all the different loan types? And then there's a huge difference. And here's the ticket. There's a difference between a prime rate and a mortgage rate, right? Mm-hmm. So yes,
they don't know.
In the stock market, those rates are completely different than what it means to buy a home, right? Yes, rates are a little bit higher than normal. They were the same rates in 2017, 2018. People were still buying houses. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of right now, it's less competition.
We were triple and people were still buying houses. It's important to remember, people don't buy a house because of the interest rate. Most people, right? They buy a house because something happened, married, divorce, kids are leaving. Like, what if you were just like, oh my gosh, I know they're like up and down all the time. Are you looking for an investment property? Like, what if you ask that?
I think that segues in. I think with this objection, why a lot of agents shy from it is because you have to poke the bear. Mm-hmm. And a lot of agents don't want to poke the bear.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's true. Like, no, you're going to ask, where did you hear? Oh my goodness, where did you hear that from? Right. I'm hearing it too, but I've already helped my brokerage.
I saw your YouTube on it. No,
45 families. I've already had 45 families. My brokerage has helped put tell me, where are you hearing that from? Oh my goodness.
It sort of sounds like a fight though. Like you don't think like I don't know. It sort of sounds like you're fighting.
The phrase is important, is there's a lot of misinformation out there.
Got it.
May I ask where you may have heard that?
And there's not one mortgage rate. There's not one interest rate. There's something you might have heard for the average person with an average credit score putting down less than 20. Like, who knows what that rate really means?
Well, and it could be the bank exchange rate, not your mortgage rate.
Also, exactly. Boom. Exactly right there. And again, like we're poking it we're teeter-tottering very nicely.
I'm lighting that shit on fire, Susanna.
I know, that's what I like about you. Well, here's the thing, Jen. Then this segues in. Okay, so Monica, have you had the chance to go look at any houses anyway? Like, again, it's that tie-in of, yes, the rates are too high, but maybe it's the fact that no one has even allowed you or has offered, because you have that objection, to be the one that's actually going to go show you something as a courtesy.
Yeah. I like the idea of using the term affordability instead of the interest rate, because it's really not about the interest rate. It's about, can you find what you want, and is it affordable to you?
Yeah, like, what are you paying now? Are you renting now?
Right, right.
What are you looking for in your next home? Something bigger, smaller? Like, what does it even matter?
Exactly. It goes into those other fundamental questions of like, trying to narrow down their motivation, their point of motivation, their timeline, but in specific questions that allow them to get that out in a very short amount of time, so that you're able to kind of maneuver and pivot where you need to go. Mm-hmm. Or then maybe the lead is just not a fit. If it is someone that's going to fight me on the rate, then you know what? Then maybe home ownership right now is not. It's okay.
Right.
Go on to the next one. But that objection right now is keeping agents up at night. I know that it is. Mm-hmm. And the fact of the matter is, you got to have a very strong phrase to combat it. And the way that you do is you got to stand up to it, not to the consumer, right? It's about false information. And it's about making sure that they have accurate information. That's why that's why I'm going to go ahead and invite you to my office, so that we can go ahead and sit down and have a conversation about it.
And what if, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Buyer, what if that wasn't the case for you? Are you open to, should we explore this together, right? What if that wasn't the case for you? What do you think, Susanna, about, I've seen this a couple times and I always think it's pretty smart, but I think you have to have it in a concise script, if you will. Mm-hmm. But this idea that, yes, you could have gotten a 3.0 rate last year, but you were paying $50,000 over the value. Like we've
Right.
got to look at the net. So how have you seen that artfully done?
I have seen it artfully done, not on the phone sometimes. Like on the
Right.
phone, that kind of conversation, if you're going to start, like I've tried to experiment with that too. Like mostly senior agents can nail it, like go there, not a problem. Newer agents have to be very, very careful, because if you don't say it correctly, you set up wrong expectations, and a fact finder is going to go and research that before they meet you. And they're like, I don't trust this person.
Yep, true.
So the only way that I think that lands very well, Monica, to be honest, is a virtual Zoom, like going, you know what, why don't we go ahead and jump on a virtual consultation? We can go over the MLS. You know, I can show you pictures. You give me a rating if you like it. So that way I can narrow down and only send you things that you want to see. And in that, then that parallels very nicely to go ahead and have that conversation and maybe have some graphs about what that looks like. Because then you've already engaged that person.
Yeah.
In that way.
That's true. Because then you could say, you know, you like this house. Last year, you probably would have paid $75,000.
You would have paid. You would have paid
cash.
In cash,
Right.
and you would have been the 18th offer on it. Now you're only going to be. So I think that lands very well in either a face-to-face conversation or in I'm a proponent now. I mean, one of the positive things that came from COVID is actually we all had to do virtual, like whenever we were shut down. Yeah. And I have seen that virtual selling is successful in a way where now you can feel out the consumer a little bit more before even going to see the house. Like you're able to knock down so many dominoes by meeting with someone virtually prior to going. And I'm just curious to get your opinion about that.
Yeah, I think I want to pause right here. I 100% agree with you, but I know that many people will get stuck because they'll say, well, what if they cancel the appointment? And I say, great.
Then I haven't driven and spent $5 a gallon to go meet them somewhere for them to have ghosted me, you know? So it's
or to not be a real buyer. But I think sales, sorry, Monica.
I was just going to say, I mean, the greatest batting averages are in the 300s. Like nobody's batting 1,000. This is a game of at bats. Like give yourself a chance.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Absolutely. And I think sales skills is something that as an industry, we're missing as agents. We're bringing people in that have zero sales skills. So I know that you're a sales and leadership coach. What do you have going on for us that if we want to improve our sales skills, that we can, how can we connect with you? How can we do that?
Yeah. Sure. So definitely I've had individuals reach out to me on my Instagram, Susanna.Medrano, and that's with 2 N's, Susanna, clearly you can see on the Zoom. And then also there is a free mini course that I'm offering at salesminicourse.com, and it's through Waters International Realty. You can go on our website. You can find me. In fact, on my Instagram, there's already the link to that specific thing. And it's basically the first component of, if you're going to prospect, which is first fundamental in any real estate career, what are the best ways of doing it? And there's a theory out there that's called a call jam, and it kind of helps you kind of hunker in to get ready to be able to make the most intention out of that hour of phone calls. So that would be some of the ways and how to reach out to me.
Awesome. What's the website again for the mini course?
It's salesminicourse.com, and it's tagged into my Instagram page. So you could literally go to my Instagram and then click right then.
And we'll put the link in the notes.
We'll put the link, in the show notes here in case you're not watching on Zoom.
Awesome. And if you're an agent and you want to find out how to partner with us to help you grow your business, make a lot more money and have more time, schedule a call by texting or calling me at 513-400-1691. Susanna, thank you so much for being on. This is very practical skills. We love it.
This was
a pleasure.
I know that this episode is helping people. So good job. We don't always know that. When Jenn and I just do it, we don't always know that. This one's going to hit. I know it.
I love it.
April 10th.
I love it.
Thank you.
All
Thanks,
right.
Monica.
All right. See you guys. Thanks,
Bye.
Susanna.
Thank you, guys.